Hi guys, Harbs here. Today we're going to be looking at the Society of Brilliance, who we can come across in the Underdark. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. I do lots of videos on D&D lore and Baldur's Gate 3. Usually my videos consist of lots of strange theories, but I promise they are backed up by lore. Sometimes the lore is 30 years old, however. Okay, let's go. First off, a little background. Who are the Society of Brilliance? We first come across them in the 5th edition adventure Out of the Abyss, where they are given the following introduction. The characters stumble upon a member of the Society of Brilliance, a sect of highly intelligent monsters that have banded together to solve all of the Underdark's problems. The Society is investigating areas suffused with Fezres to ascertain whether it has something to do with what the Society fears is some kind of demonic incursion. I should explain that Out of the Abyss is all about a demon invasion of the Underdark, and it's a fairly long adventure, so I won't be getting into it too much here. If you're not so familiar with D&D and you're confused about why they're using the word monster, well, it's because a hell of a lot of things in D&D are defined as a monster. The Society of Brilliance was made up of races that primarily inhabited the Underdark and did not contain races like humans, elves, dwarves, halflings, etc. When we encounter the Society of Brilliance in the Myconid Camp in Baldur's Gate 3, we come across a Hobgoblin and a Mind Flayer. Now, interestingly, we have seen these two before in the adventure Out of the Abyss, but the Hobgoblin Blurg was an Orug, and the Mind Flayer Omelum was instead called Grazilax. I don't believe there's been official confirmation of this strange switch, not that I didn't try to get confirmation. However, Blurg is the name shared by both the Orug in Out of the Abyss and the name of the Hobgoblin in Baldur's Gate 3, as well as the fact that Omelum has almost the exact same backstory as Grazilax, where in the Neverwinter MMO we can see that Grazilax also in the past has a deal with a Lich, whereby he would supply the Lich with bodies and the Lich would let Grazilax feed on the brains. This is the exact same story as what Omelum tells us in Baldur's Gate 3, so unless the writers over at Larian have got very lazy, which I doubt, then Omelum and Grazilax are one and the same. So prior to Baldur's Gate 3, what are the Society of Brilliance doing in Out of the Abyss? We can find apparitions of them in a place called Graven Hollow, a grand and mysterious library situated in the Underdark, that I think would be a fascinating location to visit in Baldur's Gate 3. Difficult to find, the ancient place of knowledge hides itself to the unworthy, only allowing entry to those that are worthy. The library will even help those that are deemed worthy to find it. In the adventure Out of the Abyss, the adventurers wish to travel to the library in order to learn why the demon invasion of the Underdark is occurring. Specifically, the library lies west of Worm Writhings, 360 miles from Mantle Darith and 120 miles from Gaunt Ligrim, so about here. And when we descend into the Underdark in Baldur's Gate 3, we are about here. There are several ways to find the library, including magical rings or a stone giant guide who actually act as librarians in Graven Hollow. However, the campaign guide also states that members of the Society of Brilliance can also lead the party there due to their frequent attendance. The library traps apparitions of everyone who has ever visited the library and everyone who will ever visit. For example, the group can find the apparition of Elminster, who reveals in part what will happen to the Underdark post the Demon Crisis. Whereas when they find the apparitions of the Society of Brilliance, the members had visited the library in the distant past and tell the party that they suspected that the demon invasion would come to pass due to the unpredictability of Fezres. That's the purple stuff that we can see all over the Underdark. Omelum has little to tell us about the Tadpole in our heads, even after we go on a short perilous quest to get him a potion he requires for his experiments on us. He lets us know that the Tadpole is in a form of stasis and it is protected by magical and physical means, but interestingly it does say this.
Such crude destruction may not waylay a lava like this, but there is another possibility.
So this Mind Flayer seems to believe that not even destroying the head will potentially stop the Tadpole, implying somewhat that even the Tadpoles themselves are stronger than usual, although that didn't apply here.
You raise your heel and crush the parasite into the ground. Intense regret washes over you, churning your stomach.
What's actually most interesting about the Society of Brilliance in Baldur's Gate 3 are the things littered around their little camp in the Myconid area, including the conversations that Blurg and Omelum have together.
How is your more personal research progressing?
Not well. The nutrition my species receives from other minds is difficult to emulate.
Worry not, friend. You'll find the key soon enough.
So Amelum is trying to find an alternative sustenance for his race, and he proposes to Blurg that his race might be evolving. What's important about this is that Wizards of the Coast, who would have likely approved all this lore, are introducing the idea of a new type of Mind Flayer. We've had examples of good Mind Flayers before, namely Thalquam from 3rd edition, but not in the grand scale way that Wizards seem to be attempting to do now. In the Adventure League Writhing in the Dark from the Out of the Abyss series, there is also an example of Mind Flayer that is not evil, called Glorghact. In fact, this Illithid even works with the Order of the Gauntlet to track down a rogue Illithid. Glorghact hails from an Illithid settlement called Rixig, where the Mind Flayers don't even routinely take slaves. They only take them if they are attacked first. This is vastly different to the policies of most other Mind Flayer colonies. We know that the Mind Flayers of Rixig will be in Baldur's Gate 3 due to an interview with one of the head story designers at Wizards of the Coast called Christopher Perkins over at GamesBeat, who said the following when asked why the Mind Flayers of Rixig are more peaceful than others. You'll have to ask the folks at Larian. Perhaps the Mind Flayers have eaten a few too many halfling brains, or maybe the Mind Flayers of Rixig realise that keeping slaves is a lot of work and might draw unwanted attention to themselves. Well, the fact that Perkins talks of Larian so openly in regards to the Mind Flayers of Rixig is a fairly massive hint at their eventual appearance in the game. There are only 2 books that you can read in the Society of Brilliance encampment. One are the Notes of Blurg, which detail his studies on the Illithids and the Myconid's telepathic abilities. I can't help but feel like one paragraph in his notes is foreshadowing something to come. How does innate telepathy impact the structures of the brain? And beyond that, how does the presence of another's mind within one's own affect the body? What may seem like mere thoughts and images could cause extremes of fear or pleasure if they are embedded deep enough in the recipient's psyche. If such an experience leaves behind a permanent memory, is that part of your mind still truly your own? Remember that someone at Larian specifically put this here knowing that we would probably want to read it, just after we do a quest talking about removing this tadpole that has infiltrated our mind. Lastly, going back to the topic of redemption in the Illithid race and the concept of good people in traditionally evil races, we can find a book titled The Broken Seldarine, which is a book produced by the Silver-Haired Knights, drow that have rejected Lolth and other evil deities and wish to return to the true elven fold. Specifically, they worship their goddess Elistrai, who is the chaotic good drow of beauty, song, dance, freedom and moonlight. Elistrai was the daughter of the ruler and highest god of all elves, Corellin Larethian, and Orishni, who is now more infamously known as Lolth. Elistrai's ultimate goal was to lead the drow out of the Underdark and free them from Lolth's grasp, but this would prove to be a torrid uphill battle. However, the Silver-Haired Knights did try their utmost to persuade drow to follow in their footsteps. A lot of information on the Silver-Haired Knights, also known as the Sin Eaters, can be found in Dragon Magazine 315/2004. In the magazine it says the following about the Silver-Haired Knights. The Silver-Haired Knights are most active in regions where drow attempt to establish a foothold on the surface. At this point, most of the knights in this relatively new order are based in Cormantho. Silver-Haired Knights avoid killing drow if at all possible. Well, you have to wonder why this book was placed here. Perhaps it is a nod to another race being redeemed, or maybe it is a subtle hint towards what we as players have in store for us down the line. Perhaps a meeting with these group of knights. We know that the drow might feature heavily in the game, and the region of Cormantho is a large forested area far to the east of Elturel and Baldur's Gate, but it is where the ancient city of Mithdrana is, which I mentioned in my last video as the city in which Tultantar, the ancient Netherese floating enclave, that may have links to the Tadpoles, crashed into in the novel The Herald by Ed Greenwood in 2014. Okay, thanks for watching guys. If you enjoyed this video then do please give me a like and subscribe. I'm sorry there's not more information on this Society of Brilliance. There really isn't a lot about them out there, and they're pretty new to D&D lore in general. I've been making a lot more videos on a load of stuff from Baldur's Gate 3, quite often with some outlandish theories attached. However, like in all my videos, I will try to back them up with some lore from a proper source. If you like, you can join the Discord for more Baldur's Gate 3 discussion. The link's in the description below. See you next time. Bye.